This veteran identification card looks completely fake. I've seen better fakes made by teenagers. We don't give discounts for printed-out nonsense, old man. If you believe veterans deserve our utmost respect, not suspicion, type respect in the comments below. Arthur Jenkins stood at the counter of the big department store, his hand still outstretched, holding his worn but legitimate veteran ID. He was a man of 70 years, with kind eyes and a gentle smile, though his smile had faded now. His shoulders, once broad and strong from years carrying a heavy pack for his country, were now a little stooped with age. He wore a simple, clean jacket and plain trousers. Nothing about him screamed for attention. He just wanted to buy a new garden hose. He had served his country for 30 years. He had seen places most people only read about in books and done things most people only saw in movies. He had medals tucked away in a box at home, medals he never showed anyone. He wasn't one to boast. He believed true service was quiet. Today, he was just a man hoping for the small discount the store advertised for veterans. It wasn't about the money, not really. It was about the acknowledgement, a small nod to the sacrifices made. The store manager, a woman named Brenda with sharp eyes and a name tag that read "Manager Brenda, here to help," clearly wasn't there to help him. She had a tight, unpleasant look on her face, as if Arthur was personally trying to cheat the company. "Ma'am," Arthur said, his voice calm and polite, though a knot of disappointment was tightening in his chest. "This is a real government-issued card, I can assure you." Brenda snatched the card from his fingers. She held it up to the light, then tapped it with a long, painted fingernail. "Oh, I'm sure you can assure me. Everyone tries these things. The print quality is poor. The photo is old." "Well, I am old," Arthur said, trying for a little humor, but it fell flat. "The card was issued some years ago, but it's still valid." "That's what they all say," Brenda said, her voice loud enough for other customers nearby to turn and stare. Arthur felt his cheeks grow warm. He hated making a scene. He hated being the center of attention like this. He just wanted his hose and his small discount. If you believe judging someone unfairly is wrong, type "be kind" below. "Look," Brenda continued, pushing the card back across the counter towards him dismissively. "I don't have time for this. Either pay full price, or you can leave. We have a policy against fraudulent discount attempts." Arthur felt a deep pang of hurt. Fraudulent? After all he had given? He looked at the manager, at her hard face. He had faced enemies far more dangerous than her, but this kind of casual disrespect, this public shaming, felt like a different kind of wound. It was a wound to his spirit. He thought about just walking away. It would be easier. Pay the full price? No, it was the principle now. This wasn't right. He remembered his friends, the ones who didn't come home. He remembered the promise they all made to look out for each other, to uphold the honor they had all fought for. Then, he remembered something else. A small, laminated card tucked into his wallet, separate from his veteran ID. It had a private phone number on it. It was given to him by a dear friend, a man he had served alongside many years ago. That friend, General Harrison, was now a very important person, a top executive at the parent company that owned this very chain of department stores. "If you ever truly need it, Arthur," Harrison had said, "you call this number." For any reason, Arthur had never used it. He never thought he would. Was this truly needing it? He looked at Brenda's smug face. He thought of all the other veterans who might be treated this way, dismissed and disrespected. Yes, perhaps it was. "Excuse me for a moment," Arthur said quietly. He picked up his veteran ID, his hand trembling just a little, not from fear, but from a deep, simmering anger at the unfairness. He stepped away from the counter, moving to a quieter corner of the store. Brenda watched him go, a smirk on her face. She probably thought he was giving up, going to put the hose back. She turned to the next customer with a falsely sweet smile. Arthur pulled out his old, reliable cell phone. He carefully dialed the number from the laminated card. It rang twice. Harrison, a deep, familiar voice answered. No secretary, no waiting, just his old friend. "General, Mr. Harrison," Arthur began, his voice low. "It's Arthur Jenkins. I hope I'm not disturbing you." "Arthur, not at all. It's great to hear from you. What can I do for you, old friend?" The warmth in Harrison's voice was immediate. Arthur briefly, calmly explained what had just happened at the store. This very store, part of Harrison's company. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't exaggerate. He just told the simple, ugly truth. She said my ID was fake and basically called me a liar in front of everyone. Arthur finished. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line. Then Harrison's voice came back, and the warmth was gone, replaced by a steely coldness Arthur recognized from their days in service when things got serious. Arthur, I am so incredibly sorry you were treated this way. This is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Which store location are you at right now? Arthur gave him the address. Stay right there, Arthur, Harrison said, his voice now full of authority. Don't go anywhere. I'm handling this personally. Help is on its way. It will be there in minutes. Thank you, Mr. Harrison, Arthur said, feeling a wave of relief. No, Arthur, thank you for letting me know. We need to know these things. The line clicked off. Arthur pocketed his phone. He felt calmer now. He walked slowly back towards the checkout area, not to the counter where Brenda was, but to a nearby bench where he could wait. He saw Brenda glance at him, her expression one of annoyance, as if his mere presence was an irritation. She probably thought he was still hoping she'd change her mind. Less than 5 minutes passed. Arthur counted them in his head. Then, the main doors of the store swished open with a sense of urgency. 2 people, a man and a woman, strode in. They were dressed in smart business clothes and moved with an air of complete authority. The man looked very serious, and the woman had a folder clutched in her hand. They scanned the store quickly. If you've ever seen someone powerful arrive to fix a bad situation, type heroes in the chat. Brenda, who was in the middle of talking down to another customer, stopped mid-sentence. Her eyes widened. She clearly recognized trouble when she saw it, even if she didn't know who they were yet. The man spotted Arthur on the bench. He made a beeline for him, the woman following closely. Mr. Arthur Jenkins? The man asked, his voice respectful. Arthur stood up. Yes, that's me. I'm David Miller, Regional Vice President for this company, the man said, extending his hand. And this is Sarah Chen, our Head of Corporate Human Resources. General Harrison called us personally. He told us what happened. Sir, on behalf of the entire company, I am deeply, profoundly sorry for how you were treated here today. Brenda, who had slowly approached, her face now pale, overheard this. General Harrison, Corporate Human Resources, Regional Vice President. The color drained from her face. Her smugness vanished, replaced by a look of pure panic. She started to stammer, "Oh, Mr. Miller, I didn't. There must be some misunderstanding." Mr. Miller turned his gaze to Brenda, and it was like ice. "Manager Brenda, I believe. Miss Chen and I will need to speak with you. In your office." Now, his voice was quiet but carried immense weight. Sarah Chen, the HR head, gave Arthur a kind smile. "Mr. Jenkins, would you mind waiting just a few more minutes? We want to ensure this is fully resolved." She then looked at his veteran ID, which he still held. "May I?" Arthur handed it to her. She examined it briefly. "This is perfectly legitimate, of course. And General Harrison also had us pull up your service record on the way over. 30 years. Multiple commendations. Sir, your service is exemplary." Brenda looked like she was about to faint. She had dismissed a decorated war hero. She had insulted a personal friend of one of the company's top executives. I made a mistake," Brenda whispered, her eyes darting between Mr. Miller and Miss Chen. "A terrible mistake. I was just trying to follow policy on discount fraud. Insulting and demeaning a veteran, especially one with Mr. Jenkins' record, is not company policy, Manager Brenda," Miss Chen stated firmly. "Let's go to your office." Brenda practically stumbled as she led them away. The other customers and staff watched in stunned silence. They had all seen Brenda's earlier behavior. Now they were seeing the consequences. Arthur sat back down, a little overwhelmed but also feeling a sense of justice. He hadn't wanted a big fuss, but he was glad that this kind of behavior was being taken seriously. About 10 minutes later, Mr. Miller and Miss Chen returned. Brenda was not with them. Mr. Miller was carrying Arthur's garden hose. "Mr. Jenkins," Mr. Miller began, "Manager Brenda is no longer employed by this company, effective immediately. An internal investigation is underway regarding training and customer service standards at this location, and frankly, across all our stores to ensure this never, ever happens again. We will be implementing new mandatory training for all staff on respectfully serving our veterans and properly recognizing their credentials. Ms. Chen added, General Harrison sends his personal apologies again. He also insisted that your purchase today is on us, of course. And he asked us to give you this. She handed Arthur a gift card for any inconvenience and distress caused. Arthur was taken aback. That's very generous, thank you, but it was never about getting something for free. We know that, sir, Mr. Miller said. It's about respect, and you deserve all of ours. General Harrison also mentioned you might know a thing or two about leadership and respect. He wondered if, down the line, you might ever consider speaking to some of our new management trainees about your experiences, only if you'd want to, of course. Arthur smiled, a genuine smile this time. I might consider that. He felt a warmth spread through him. Not only had the wrong been righted, but something good might come out of it for others too. Mr. Miller personally rang up the garden hose at a zero balance and thanked Arthur again for his service and for bringing this matter to their attention. As Arthur left the store, several other customers who had witnessed the earlier scene approached him quietly, offering their own apologies for not speaking up and thanking him for his service. The story of what happened to Arthur Jenkins and how quickly the company acted spread. It became a reminder within the company, don't judge a book by its cover. And always, always respect those who have served. Arthur went home, put his new hose in the garage, and then sat quietly in his favorite chair. He felt tired, but also satisfied. Justice had been done. And maybe, just maybe, things would be a little better for the next veteran who walked into one of those stores. If you believe that standing up for what's right can make a difference, please subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Remember, true heroes often walk among us quietly, and they deserve our honor every single day. Never forget.